My name is Harrison Ivory, the husband of Bernice Ivory. I want to tell of my first experience of meeting Baba in 1956 at the Delmonico Hotel. When I first heard of the meeting that Baba was going to be there, I was very excited, along with the rest of the family. But I'm a person that don't talk much. So, well, I was very excited, got very excited. So, on meeting Baba, it was out of this world. We embraced, and cheek to cheek, you know? And after meeting him, leaving him, felt like I was in another world, floating away from him, you know? Oh, it's quite an experience that I won't forget, ever forget. And now I want to tell of my trip to India in 1969. It was Meher Baba's darshan in India. I'm at a loss for way. Me and the whole family, we went to the darshan, which was held in Pune, India. This was also an exciting experience for me. Meeting the Mandali, being in Baba's presence, and being with all of Baba's lovers.
I'm Colleen Ivory, Bernice's daughter. I met Baba in 1956 when I was 3 years old. See, the only thing I could really remember was sitting on his lap, sitting on Baba's lap. And to me at the time, it seemed like he was talking, but Mommy said he was silent. So I don't remember anything he said, but you know, we were laughing and playing as children. And I think Janice was standing in the middle, and my brother and I were sitting on each knee. That's how I remember it. And just talking to Baba and playing around. He was playing with us and laughing. Remember that, laughing. That's the only time I met him. I don't know. I've had a lot of experiences, and I really started, you know, reading about Baba and everything, not until I was a teenager. Before, I was just taking advantage of it all, you know. Let's see. Since then, I've met a lot of people who've asked about Baba, who's asked me about this, and, you know, who have known Baba and told me how, you know, how Baba helped them. And I don't know, like one girl in school said, she asked me something about the Meher Center. I don't know how we got into that, but she said, oh yeah, I know where that is. A lot of her friends went there because they were on drugs, and Baba helped them to get off of drugs, and they went down to the center and stayed there for a while. Oh, so many things, I don't know. He also helped me to choose the school I wanted to go to. He did everything, really. I wanted this job. I want to work, you know, with the handicapped. And my mother went to a friend's house, and at first she didn't want to go. And she went to a friend's house, and then she met the brother of the director of the physical therapy department at NYU. And then he called her up, and she got me this job. I mean, I don't know. It really worked out. It works out all the time. So when anything happens, really, not even when it happens, I just ask Baba for help. I remember when I was little, I used to have dreams about devils. 3 devils. There used to be a staircase, and these devils were down at the bottom of the staircase, and all the time red as anything. And so, I used to wake up crying, and I wanted to sleep with my brother, and so Mommy told me to pray to Baba. She said, well, just repeat Baba's name over and over and over. So after a while, that's the only way I got to sleep, was just saying Baba's name over and over and over. I'd go to sleep and I wouldn't dream at all. Not that I remember anyway. And I don't know. Baba's just really become a part of me. I talk about him all the time. I write about him a lot. When I had to write in school, I usually write about Baba, something about Baba. And my teachers, like my English teacher that I had in high school, knew of Baba. He's been to the Baba meetings. And, and I met a girl in the class who, kept on looking at this. And we're leaning over the chair looking at each other. And she pulls out her little Baba chain. I said, oh, so many. And when I went to a lecture downtown at NYU, at the hospital, this girl, she saw me when I came in. She saw this again. And she kept looking at the ends of it. She says to me, you know about Baba? I said, yeah, you did too. And she took out her book. She had her book about Baba, I said, well, And it just goes on like that. I meet a lot of people that, know Baba. In school now, they're asking me about him. My guidance counselor was asking me, he says, he doesn't like not knowing something. He saw this and he didn't know who Baba was. So he had to find out. So I brought in the Baba's message and, his universal message, brought that in, and, talked about, he had me talking. He said, well, I want to know. So I'm sitting there talking, and I don't really know what to say about Baba, because, I don't know, you have to experience it yourself. So, really, there's so much I can go on and on, but I don't know. Ma, you got something?
I'm remembering how when you were about, I'd say about 13 months. Anyway, you were still in diapers because I was still changing them. I was changing them at the time. Well, I was bent over the crib, and you know how children, I don't know, when you change them, sometime when the ear, they squirm, and they feel good after they get the wet thing off. So, oh my God, embarrassing. Well, anyway, as I removed the diaper, Carlene, she just stretched and she looked at me and she says, Mommy, Daddy, Baba. It was so sweet the way she did that, as though she was telling me Mommy and Daddy, but no one like Baba. Baba was her Mommy and Daddy.
Well, I'll start now by well, I'll tell you about why I asked to sing for the Baba celebrations every year. Seems though many people continually ask. Well, it all started back in 1958, you see, at the men's show, you see, and I sang the song for Baba, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Yes, so I sang the song for Baba, and Baba, when he went back to India, he told all of Mandali how much he enjoyed the song. And when we went to India in 1962 for the East-West Gathering, I sort of had the feeling that Baba may ask me to sing again, you see. So I started tuning up the pipes and getting it in order. And sure enough, a couple of Baba's Mandali came over one of the days we were there and asked if I'd be willing to sing for Baba. So I said, yes, I would. So one day in the morning, Baba asked me to sing the song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. And again in the afternoon at the East-West gathering where the Easterners and Westerners were gathered together. But there was an incident that happened in 1962. It was the first day that we arrived. We weren't supposed to see Baba this day, but Baba called the Westerners. I think he called the women first, and he called the men later on that day. And we each had a chance to embrace Baba. So while I stood around for my chance, when it was my chance to meet Baba, I started to go up to Baba, but I guess I was so overcome with the with emotion at the moment, I didn't realize that Baba was at the moment through hand gestures saying something to me at the time. And then Baba put his hand up and like this and told me to stop, you know, through Irish. So I stopped. And then Baba started to motion again. And this time I watched Baba, and Baba pointed to the palm of his hand, you see. So then Irish, I could hear, you see, I heard him off in the background saying, Baba says that he has the whole world in his palm. And then he added, remember that. You see, Baba told Irish to say, remember that. So then I nodded that I understood what Baba had said, and I went and embraced Baba. And it was because Baba had said this, remember that, that I always remember, especially when things get trying in life. Baba saying this, he's got the whole world in his hand, remember that. Then it was back in 1967, I believe, when we first started having the programs for Baba, Baba's birthday celebrations and the silence celebration. This year, they had sent the program to Baba for his approval, and Baba didn't see my name on the program singing this song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. So Baba immediately cabled back to Dr. Kenmore saying that I should sing this song, and that he would like me to sing this song every year. So it was the day of the program that Anne called for Dr. Kenmore and had asked me to sing this, if I would sing this song that evening for Baba. I said yes, I would. And I sang the song. But not having rehearsed it and not having practiced beforehand with my accompanists, I was very dissatisfied with the way in which I rendered the song. So I wrote back and I told Baba this. But I told Baba that if he ever asked me to sing for him again, you see, I'd stay prepared so that I would always be prepared to sing for him. So Baba wrote back through Artie and told me that he was very happy that I said that, and then he asked me to master Francis Brabazon's songs. So this is the story around my singing for Baba. I sort of went like when people think in terms of doing work and duty for Baba and serving Baba, it seems as though quite much of my services has been wrapped in this area, singing for Baba.
a question that many people ask in relationship to Baba, those of us who have met him, is what was it like being with Baba, you know? And one of the things that has always stood out in my mind is the way, the natural and the unassuming way that Baba is aware of everything that goes on. And there are times when Baba just lets you see that he knows everything. He told us in 1958, if you recall, Lenny, he says, "I know everything." You know, he told us. And I mean, sitting there, as we sat there and listened to Baba saying it, there was no question that you knew Baba knew. He knows that he just knows everything. Well, this incident happened during the children's birthday. They had a little birthday party, and Baba was with the cake, passed out the cake, and had all the children to come and celebrate and to join in. And after it was over, Baba started throwing prasad, which is something that he does quite frequently. He will take a sweet and throw it out to the lovers who are standing around. And he threw this candy in what I thought was my direction. And Jane Haynes was standing next to me, so both of us jumped for the prasad. And in jumping forward, it bounced and fell, so Jane picked it up and she gave it to me. So now Baba sat and he looked for a minute and he tilted his head to the side as though Baba had a problem. He wanted me to move because he wanted to give Jane this prasad. So Baba so gently gestured with his hands for me to step to one side. And I jumped out of the way. I was so happy that I was able to move, you know, and not be offended, you know. After I thought about it, I just said, "Oh, thank you, Baba, that the ego didn't, you know, become involved and become offended." And Baba asked me to move, and I did. And he threw the prasad to Jane, as he wanted to do. So then after, he threw some more out. He said anyone who didn't receive any would come to him. And I went over. And Baba gave me prasad directly in my hand. So now I had these two pieces of the two pieces of prasad in my hand. So as I started to move away, Baba said, "You see her?" And as he said that, you know, I heard Baba say, "You see her?" I looked, and there, sitting under the tree, several feet from the group that was with Baba, was this lady, and she was just knitting or crocheting, completely unaware that Baba was giving prasad or anything that Baba was doing. So Baba said, "You see her? Give her one." So with that, I walked over to her and I said, "Here, Baba sends this for you." And she startled. She said, "Oh, thank you. Eat it." And she started to say something else to me. And at that moment, I felt just as distinctly as if some a physical hand had just reached to the collar of my dress and pulled me gently back. And I backed back to where Baba was. Because this is what he wanted me to do, just give the prasad from him and return to the group. And as I said, I mean, Baba was busy there. And from all appearances, he was busy, not, you know, and no one saw her but Baba. He knew she was there, you see. And it's moments when Baba permits you to share in his work, you know, that's so thrilling. And you just, I mean, I think in those moments, he'd draw you closer to him, you know? because, I mean, while you may not have any doubt as to who Baba is, maybe these questions don't arise, but, you know, when these things happen, it just, I suppose, strengthen that conviction that you already, has already been established, you know. And it doesn't overwhelm you. At least it doesn't. It seems like it's the natural way that things should be, you know? That this is it. This is the way it should be. There's nothing supernatural about it or out of the ordinary. We're the ones who are out of the ordinary because we're not able to function this way, you know? This is natural. This is normal. And I would like to, I hope Erish doesn't mind my telling this. While Baba passed out birthday cake, and Erish got his portion of cake, and it was delicious. And Erish was standing behind Bob, and he was enjoying this piece of cake. At that moment, Baba snapped his finger and called for the piece of cake. Erish handed Baba the cake, wiped his mouth, and as though he had never had a piece of cake. And you know, I mean, he was truly enjoying this cake, but then when Baba stopped him from eating it, he was just as finished with it as if he had never had it. And it's beautiful to be able to, you know, bend and sway as Baba would want you to. Oh, this reminds me too of another incident. We were with Baba in 1962